Hello, everyone. Welcome to Great and Good News today on this actually cool kind of Tuesday morning. It
Yes.
feels good. It's
Yes.
in the 90s, but it's not 105. It actually feels good, and the sun's kind of been behind a cloud. So it's a bright enough, cheery morning for us. Today I have Sammy with me. Sammy, as you all know, is my son. So we do Great and Good News every Tuesday and Thursday from noon to 1 o'clock, and we are just a group of guys that just like to just share our thoughts with you, get your thoughts back in return, hopefully, and then we can just learn about what's going on in the world more than maybe we knew when we came onto the show. Hey, Tammy, welcome.
Hello, hello.
Sammy is I'm 65. Sammy is 22. So it's a little different than the normal father-son relationship insofar as one, we're close. Number two, Sammy works for us. And number three, Sammy is 43 years younger than yeah, 43 years younger than I am. So we skipped a generation. And one of the things that we've talked about with respect to Grit and Good News, because Jeff and I are from the same uh, generation, Jeff, the normal co-host, we're from the same generation, which I'm a young baby boomer. Jeff's a little older of a baby boomer, but Sammy's, wait, what do they call y'all now?
I think I'm Gen Z,
Gen Z?
something
Yeah.
like that.
So Sammy, Sammy's from two generations away from me, and man, has the world changed. I mean, it changed from the baby boomers to millennials or whatever the next generation was. But
Yeah.
you skip a generation or add another one in there, and then get to Sammy. It is a vast difference between how a dad who adores his son, loves his son, very proud of my son. He's one of uh, three sons that I have. One is an adult, much older, but we have two young sons. And I love them and I'm proud of both of them very much. But the show, one of the ideas of having Sammy with me going forward, along with Jeff, obviously, is that Sammy presents a totally different view than I can see, I understand, uh, am aware of, and same goes for Sam. So Sammy has to put up with me because I'm his dad, and and I have to put up with him because our generations are so different. Anyway,
Mm.
that's really what Grit and Good News is about, and the name itself would suggest that we like to talk about important, critical matters, but we also like to throw in some good news and have some fun. All of our content is packaged together and put on Substack.com under the Grit and Good News label. And you can get that, all of it, on Mondays and Fridays in an email that gets to you before the sun comes up.
At the
Sammy,
top of your screen,
what's that?
substack.com. Have it
Oh,
up
you
there.
put it up there. Okay, yeah. So Sammy has a column, a weekly sports column. I have columns. Jeff has what we call opinion poems. We have this show, the links to this show. We have other links to other content. And so there's a lot there. And $5 a month really helps us, and hopefully you wouldn't miss it. So, as usual, we have a lot to talk about today. And when I say a lot, I really do. So, uh, we're going to do rapid fire, but we want to spend some time on some critical issues, both at the national level and at our own local level. Before we get started, we always do, we shifted from the numbers. We used to go out and say, okay, what number episode is this?
This is 168.
Yeah, so we then would go to 68 and say, what are the great numbers of athletes, pro athletes, uh, that wore that number in history, and we would talk about that. But it's hard to
You'd probably find one of the greatest offensive linemen of all
do
time.
that in
I don't know,
68. Oh
but
yeah, yeah, true,
yeah.
true, or yeah,
But
or
it's it's an
yeah, that's
offensive
true.
lineman.
So we stopped doing that because once we cycled it, when we were just, you wouldn't remember, but a year later we were saying the same numbers and the same people. So now we share with you crazy names of real people in athletics across the globe, the world, and just have a kick at
And we're not
saying,
doing
huh?
nicknames. These
No,
are
these are nicknames.
on their birth certificate,
Yeah. So
signed.
Sammy always starts. Jeff is out of town, so it's just gonna be the two of us with our names. So what do you got, Sam?
All right, starting off NBA. God, Sham God, spelled Shammgod, Sham God.
Sham God.
And that
God.
is actually a basketball move.
Yeah. Sham God?
A crossover.
I've
You
never heard of that.
different generation. Uh,
So his parents named him God.
God, Sham God. He averaged 3 points in his one season in the NBA for the Washington Wizards, and he is now a coach, I believe a dribbling coach.
Oh, for who? Do
The
you know?
Pelicans, last I knew.
All right, I mean, I remember when he played for Georgetown, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
yeah, or Connecticut. That's what it was,
Oh,
Connecticut. My name, where I gotta find it is. You ain't gonna believe this one because I don't know the ethnicity of these people. I don't know where they come from, their countries. I just want to make sure that we say, well, we know they played for this team. Today, my name is a kid named Wonderful is his first name. His last name is Terrific Dash Mons. Wonderful, Terrific Mons. He was a 49ers, San Francisco 49ers defensive back.
that's awesome.
Wonderful, Terrific Mons. How about that? So we got God and Wonderful as our players for
Beautiful.
today.
Great start.
Real quick, let's talk about the Rangers. The Rangers have won 2 out of 3 against, no, they won 2 in a row against the White Sox, right?
No. Didn't we start the series last night?
No, or maybe no. I think we started. What's today?
Today is Tuesday.
Yeah, we did. So we won. I think we won 2 in a row
Oh,
though.
okay. Yeah, well,
Uh,
last night it was 11-2.
yeah, a big game. So we're
Yep.
playing the White Sox, a pretty good team. So the Rangers are 66 and no, 67 and 66.
Last time I checked, they were 66 and 66.
Okay, so we're 500, which is like kissing your sister, but I think we're 1 game up
Yeah.
or
I think
tied.
we're either tied or one game up
You
first.
know, we're always going to be pardon me for those who have red hair. We're always going to be the redhead stepchildren when we get in the playoffs and we have a record that's 500. I just
Yeah,
this
it
division has always. I mean, I can go back when you were a little boy and we go see them play. Same thing. It was always the weakest division in the winter. I mean, in the Houston days, their glory days over the past decade, they were better than 500, but
yeah.
still.
The winner doesn't get a wild card, they get a series, right?
Well, they only get a wild. Yeah, the winner of the division is automatically in the playoffs,
Okay.
but the best teams beyond that get a playoff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So with us being if our winner of our division is 500, then it's obvious that nobody in our division is going to get a wild card.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't have a good enough
Okay.
record.
Yeah.
We have the Cowboys. Cowboys. I mean, here we go. We're doing the same thing we
Chugga
always
chugga
do.
chugga chugga chugga
Yeah.
chugga
So the
chugga.
other night they look good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Joe Milton. There's something about that guy. He's just smooth, and I don't know why he doesn't do well in the pros.
Yeah, I mean, he
But
wasn't that good last year,
no, he
right?
wasn't. I don't know, but he did play well the other night.
Yeah.
We have the Mavs. No new news there,
I mean,
right?
Mark Stein reported that teams are still contacting the front office about Kyrie. If the Mavericks do bad this year, especially at the beginning, because we have a tough record, I think Kyrie will be shipped out.
Yeah. Okay. And then the Stars, things are pretty quiet there.
Yep.
So we have 4 videos we're going to show you today, and we'll just cue those up when we get to that topic. Let me just start with some lighter stuff that we'll just zip right through. How about speaking of the 49ers, consider this. The San Francisco 49ers, quality team,
Oh yeah.
has been
Don't like
forever.
him. Don't
Huh?
like him.
No, you can't be a Cowboys fan and like the
Yeah.
49ers or the
Eagles,
Redskins or the
Giants.
yeah, any of them in our
Yeah.
division, but the San Francisco we don't like. But somebody's going to have to explain to me how an owner of a football team, if you are an owner of a football team, chances are you're a multimillionaire.
Hmm.
We agree on that, right?
Yeah.
So Jed York,
Okay.
who it was given to, the team, was arrested Sunday morning now
Okay.
in Ohio at a trailer park on a $140 prostitution charge. Now
Wow.
this what in the hell, excuse my expression, my friends from church, please don't tell me, but what in the world possesses somebody to do that? Even the dumbest. I mean, uh are you that desperate that you got to go to find a
Trey.
prostitute and at a trailer park?
That I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not
Well,
see that news.
if you look on Fox today and just if you just Google it, you'll see his mugshot.
That
He's got
is
on his orange,
the owner of the
the
49ers?
owner, Jed York.
Is he young?
He looks to be in his 50s.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
That's
So
insane.
we don't share that with you because we get a kick out of people's troubles, but
No, that's just
we get it's intriguing to understand the human psyche that says, "Hey, I got an idea." If you're not talking to anybody, which obviously, if he's talking to somebody about going and do it, you would think somebody in his little sphere or circle of influence would say, "Are you dumb? Are you an idiot? Don't do that. Don't do that.
you
You're
would
gonna get
think.
busted." And of course, people with lots and lots and lots of money, those who are just obsessed with it will often believe that they're invincible. So what does he do? He goes to a trailer park and gets busted. It just doesn't make sense. Now he's going to go back to San Francisco. He's going to be the butt of every joke you can think of. He's going to he's put himself, imagine his family. I don't know if he's married, but good grief.
I'd imagine he sells.
I don't know if he'll sell, but I mean,
That
he's
you're right.
gonna
Probably
get in
not.
trouble. He's gonna
Yeah.
get in trouble by.
Yeah.
Last week I made brief
Hello,
mention to
Terry.
you, huh?
Terry's here. I see him
Oh, hey,
on my
bud.
phone. I
Hey,
don't see him
Terry.
on there.
So I made mention to you guys last week in passing that there is a mayor in Massachusetts, of all places. We told you last week about Massachusetts and their new abortion law, which means you can abort a baby up to the day it's born. And that all those ladies were standing around clapping about
Clapping.
that. But I didn't tell you about the blue state mayor. That's the headline. Blue state mayor arrested for fraud sparks uproar for not speaking English in a viral clip. I'm just going to read this to you. The mayor of a northern Massachusetts town went viral on social media in recent days after his lawyer told reporters the mayor does not speak English when they pressed him about being arrested for COVID-19 pandemic relief fraud. Lawrence, Lawrence, Massachusetts Mayor Brian DePena 61, was arrested Friday morning after an investigation into his alleged misuse of more than 1.5 million of economic injury disaster loans during the COVID-19 pandemic. Quote, he doesn't speak English. No comment, DePena's lawyer said in the clip as DePena repeatedly smiles and says, God bless you to the reporters. Well, I guess he does speak some English.
Oh my
The
gosh.
the clip spread on social media. Here's a conservative, the libs of TikTok. If you've never checked that uh,
Oh, I love that
brand
page.
out. Yeah, it's pretty good. It just says, OMG, how is this real? He doesn't speak English. No comment, says the assistant of the mayor of an American city. Um,
You
I
gotta.
obviously prostitution is worse, but how are these things happening in America? Imagine us. Now we're right. We're obviously right next to the border, down, a few hundred miles,
Mm-hmm.
and so it would make sense that maybe on our border that we have a in Laredo or the Rio Grande Valley area or McAllen, McAllen,
Mm,
or those areas that we might have a mayor that doesn't speak English because he's more Hispanic, and
yeah.
those cities are 85-90% Hispanic
Yeah.
there. So it makes sense, but we're talking about Massachusetts.
Well,
And
what's his?
how do you get elected if you can't speak
Yeah,
English?
that's my question. But also my question is, what does he speak? What did
I
it
don't
say?
know. Depena would make it sound like Hispanic
Yeah. Okay.
or Spanish, but
I mean, not being able to speak English up north.
or anywhere if you're a
Yeah.
mayor. I mean, we could make the argument that in Laredo,
Yeah.
uh, that would be all right,
Yeah. That makes sense.
bilingual. But I
Yeah.
mean, I don't understand how that even happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just one of those things that make you go, really
Tarnation.
crazy. What's that?
Tarnation.
That is a tarnation for sure. Uh, I want to read something to you, and let me just set it up. These two things, we, whether from the generation, and Sammy, before our next show, find out exactly what your generation's called. I,
You want me to look it up?
yeah, look it up and see
I'm a
born
Gen Z.
in 2004.
I'm a Gen Z, dude.
Okay, so I want to make sure. But whether you're Gen Z or whether you're, what am I called, baby boomer, or whether millennial, whatever else other generation labels out there's some things that you just say across the board, like we just talked about two of them. We all should agree, regardless of what generation we come from, that these things are wrong. These things are not acceptable in the United States of America. Let me share two that come really out of the state of California. Now we know California. It's pretty clear to me anyway that Gavin Newsom. What did it say?
Yeah, I'm Generation Z. And do you know the 2013 to 2024? If you were born in there, Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm Generation Z.
Z. Okay. So we know California, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is likely going to run for president of the United States in 2028, which, by the way, that's starting to build up steam and will hit full stride sometime uh, early spring of next year, maybe the middle of next year. But I think it's safe to say that Gavin Newsom is going to run for president of the United States, and quote me now, or say you heard it here first. Gavin Newsom, if you can believe this or not, Gavin Newsom, in my opinion anyway, is worse in terms of being able to communicate, his mannerisms, his dramatic tendencies is worse than Kamala Harris, without question. So we're going to find just what an empty suit Gavin Newsom is. Not only that, he's corrupt.
What does Jeff say? He's the most presidential candidate.
I think
Is that
Jeff
Is that Gavin?
Well, I think he may mean in appearance, but we'll
Yeah,
ask him
no,
on.
appear that's
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's tall. He's got the hair going.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been considered
He said that
a
on the
handsome
show
guy.
before.
A handsome guy can be really ugly when his personality is revealed, and
Yeah.
the opposite. Somebody that maybe isn't a knockout, you get to know him, and their personality makes them incredible.
Yeah.
But Gavin Newsom is a mess. So it's his state we're talking about. I want to read this to you, and you just think about this, whether or not it makes sense to you that um, that this is possible. I'm just going to read. This is a story by Peter Pinedo. I don't know Peter Pinedo, but um, in a recent viral social media post, Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles,
Mm.
who will be up for reelection or is up for reelection in November. Uh, Karen Bass, Los Angeles mayor, 72-year-old progressive, said that, quote, when you donate to our campaign, the city, meaning Los Angeles, can match your donation 6 to 1. So if you donate $5, she says the city turns it into 35. So you donate 5, the city matches it at 30. So you got a total of $35. All right.
Okay.
So if you contribute to her a dollar to her campaign, then the city will match that, and you have $2.
Okay.
Right. So that's what's going on
Hmm.
in Los Angeles. Bass said that, quote, thanks to LA's Super Match program, every qualified donation from Los Angeles residents is matched 6 to 1. I may have said 5 to 1. 6 to 1.
No, you said
Uh,
6 to 1.
no, yeah, but I didn't do the math right with
Oh.
the $1.
Oh.
Is matched 6 to 1 by the city. She added that after this year's mayoral primary, in which Republican candidate Spencer Pratt garnered significant support, she said, quote, we had to start over from scratch. So we need you to rush in your matching donation right now to help fuel this campaign. So here's the point. Let's just think of it this way. For those of you living right here in Waxahachie, if you are going to contribute to your favorite candidate for, let's just say, mayor, because we have a system next year by which the mayor is going to be voted in as opposed to chosen by those on council. So let's say you have a mayor candidate that you really like, and we have this program in place, and you decide you're going to give $10, uh, and uh, and then the city's going to turn right around and match that 6 to 1. You might say, well, that's pretty cool. That
Yeah.
means the person I'm supporting gets more support.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it the other way. Think of it the way it should be thought of, and that is that the person I don't want to be mayor, that is awful, um, is getting the same match. So I don't. Do you
Yeah.
get it? Do
Yeah.
you see where a city has a program? A city doesn't make a dime. A city, a county, a state, a country doesn't. Nothing in government is because it produced a thing. It doesn't have a natural in terms of earning. There's no earnings in it. It is all tax related. Every dime the government has, every dime comes from us, the taxpayer. That means whether you're in Waxahachie, Los Angeles, San Francisco, wherever you are, everything the government uses to spend is because we got taxed on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it drives me crazy when we hear these euphemisms and these comments, these anecdotes about, these politicians acting or thinking or talking like it's their money.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in Los Angeles would be the same thing that happens here. The money I give as pay in taxes, the money Sandy pays in taxes, the money you pay
They're
in taxes
using.
is going to be used to match
Yeah.
the donation by people to a candidate that you may very well not like. very well not support. Karen Bass is a radical progressive liberal. Imagine being a conservative in Los Angeles, and you know that
Hopeless.
the money. Just
Hopeless.
imagine somebody gives her $50,000 to
Jeez.
support her campaign. The city's money, portion of it, is being used to match that at a factor of 6 to 1. So
I mean,
that's 300,000 more dollars that the city is saying, okay, you got 50,000 from this donor. We're matching it at 6 to 1. That's $300,000. And if I'm doing my math right, and then you're sitting there with the understanding that that's money. That's not their money. That's your money. That's the taxpayer of Los Angeles. That's their money. It's being used in a matching program for a politician. I want to say, tell me it can't be true,
ridiculous.
but it is true. I went through. I read this story uh, in depth. This is what some of the folks had to say that conservative activists, Billboard Chris, I guess that's his name, commented, quote, "How is it legal to take money from Los Angeles taxpayers to fund your own reelection campaign?" Close quote. Another commentator says, quote, "Can someone please explain to me, like I'm 5 years old, how this is not completely illegal?" Another
Yeah,
says,
I was thinking that.
another says this is grotesque. Another says, "Is this a joke?" Wrote well-known Los Angeles doctor and political commentator David Hamadi. Quote, "Why on earth are LA City taxpayers who can't even afford to clean up their streets or have water in their fire hydrants forced to match contributions to a mayoral reelection campaign in a ratio of 6 to 1? How can that be?" So just when we think we've seen it all, heard it all, along comes something like this. And
It's always taxpayer money
it's all
getting
taxpayer money.
abused.
So Karen Bass is being supported by those who can't stand Karen Bass
Yeah.
in theory and in reality. I mean, there's just no way of getting around it. Equally troubling in the state of California, there's a polling firm named Median Strategies. Let me just read this to you. The headline of this story about this polling company, and we know that polling companies, polling services have become more problematic in the past decade or so. We know, by example, at the last minute, if you remember in the presidential election of 2024, Trump was ahead. It was all looking good. We get to the closing days to election day. Iowa, the Des Moines Register newspaper, which has long been known for its quality polls, the person behind that came out with a poll that said just before, I'm talking within 2 days of election day, that Kamala Harris was showing a double-digit polling at a double-digit lead in Iowa. Now, Iowa is an important state
Hmm.
when it comes to the electoral college and in the process of voting and swing state. It's
Is it
not
a
a swing
swing?
state, no,
Okay.
but it's an important state.
Yeah.
So this poll, the Moen Register's poll, and the person that ran that for them came out with this. Trump has sued them since, and I think that suit hasn't been dismissed yet and is continuing. But this polling was basically, and the woman who did it, who led it, says no, it just was a fluke. But it's easy to say, particularly after what I'm about to read you, that it was a fraudulent attempt to sway votes to Kamala rather than to Donald Trump. Because if you and I go out, let's just say we're going to make a $5 bet on something, and we go to Kalshi or we go to any one of these other services, and it says, "Hey, the betting markets say that it's 60% chance, the Cowboys are going to win
Hmm.
versus a 30% chance that the Commanders or whatever, 40% chance the Commanders." Um, we're likely going to say, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go with the one that's getting the best numbers right now at pre-game, right? So
Yeah.
that's what people do with polling and
Yeah.
in politics. They say, well, if in this case Kamala Harris is trending in a poll to be double-digit lead over Trump, then I'm going to go ahead and vote for. What am I
Go
missing?
with the vote.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go with Kamala.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind as that you hear what I'm about to tell you. This was published what's today?
25th.
25th. This was last uh the 18th, whatever day that was, last Tuesday, a week ago. Yeah. a polling outfit that admitted surveys released on the Los Angeles mayor's race and the Democratic gubernatorial primary in Wisconsin were fake, is now out of business.
Mm.
Median Strategies, the company that released polls indicating Democratic Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles and Wisconsin Democratic gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong, if you remember her, the one that didn't want Thanksgiving, wanted
Oh
to get rid
yeah,
of police and
the
borders
usual. Yeah.
and yeah, prisons and all that sort of thing. Uh, let's see, the company that released its polls indicating that she was winning, leading their rivals by wide margins, announced last week, that the surveys, the polls, were a hoax and that it has closed its doors. Median Strategies was created as a short term social experiment to examine how purported polling information could enter and spread through the polling information ecosystem without independent verification. Median Strategies has concluded its polling project and will not publish additional
So it was
polls.
a test.
They're claiming it was a test. I think that's cover for it just
Huh.
being more lousy, fraudulent polling that was
That's
intended to. I mean, it was only intended to help
yeah.
Karen Bass, and this Francisca Hung in Wisconsin. The question becomes why is that allowed? Why? I mean, why? That's just straight up fraud.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean, I don't. But then to come out and admit it is adds a new layer of corruption that it just amazes me. We see more and more, not only of corruption, but we see more and more people having no problem admitting it. I mean, Karen Bass says the matching program in Los Angeles is just fine.
yeah.
Come out. She's advocating that you do it. And then we have a polling firm that comes out and says, "Oh, those polls we provided to
They
you
just
that
wanted
were
to see what would happen.
yeah, they wanted to, well, their claim is that they did it as a project and that they wanted to see whether or not it had any impact or effect. My
What a
guess is
load
that
of
that's just a load of you know what,
yeah.
and that they were trying to play games and got busted. So there are a lot of lessons to be learned in that. Obviously I wouldn't rely too much on polling. Just like who's number one in NCAA football this year?
I actually don't know.
Ohio State.
Okay, yeah.
Guess what? Sammy's wearing his Bama shirt today.
Wow.
Bama is ranked
I
13th or
don't know.
14th. So, those that are at number one don't mind saying, yeah, we're number one in the polls. However, the good schools that really know the polls don't matter will say, we don't. Nick Saban used to say, we don't care about polls.
It was like last year. I think Clemson was ranked fourth.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna win everything,
yeah.
and I don't know what happened, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, they didn't win. They didn't win much of
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I know.
So the idea that we rely on polls for anything, whether it be sports or politics or whatever else, I mean, we shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. But here's
Look
just the
somewhere else.
corruption is. It seems like people are proud to be corrupt. In these two cases, people don't seem to have any problem with it. Company says, "Oh, well, I don't know if they thought about what the consequences might be. I don't know what those are, but we weren't real. We were fake." And so I thought you guys would get a just a I don't know what the word might be, not a kick, but just say, "Holy cow, is that really going on
That's
in
wild.
this country?"
I want to bring up the topic of those fires real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Those fires, the Ross fire has grown to over 50,000
The
acres.
what fire?
They call it the Ross fire, like my stepbrother,
Yeah.
ROSS fire. 50,000 acres west of Fort Worth. So just keep that in mind, keep those people in your prayers. They're getting evacuated obviously, but it's crazy. It's hot and it's hard to stop it. So,
Yeah, so going west to Weatherford and those, going towards out towards Abilene and
yeah,
in West Texas. So yeah, we want to keep those folks. We haven't had rain in
over 3 weeks, over 4
longer
weeks.
than that. It's been 30, probably pushing 40 days now.
Yeah, it's been really rough.
Well, I
Like,
told you in Kennedy yesterday or the day before, whoever I was talking to, that there might be some rain. Oh, yeah, because we're
yeah.
going to announce a fun little uh, contest for state fair tickets here before we close the show. But I said it was going to rain Thursday, Friday. And I looked last night, and there's not a bit of it. So
Yeah.
we're in this heat for the long term, and it's
And
already been
and I
long
know
term.
August is usually like this. You get deep into August and it's just
Well, it's
horrible,
brutal.
but this has been quite different.
I told the
I don't
yard
know.
guy today, or last weekend for this week, no reason to come. I mean,
Yeah.
the yard's just dying.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Carmelo Anthony. Sammy, you remember the what happened with Carmelo Anthony? The whole
Yes.
story. Set it up, and then we'll add
Well,
what we're going on.
yeah, I'll go from my mind. Carmelo and Austin. Let me go through the whole thing.
Just yeah,
They were
briefly.
at, at a track meet. Austin was under his tent.
This is in April of 2025.
It's from my memory, Carmelo goes up to the tent. They exchange words. Stuff gets intense.
Yeah.
And Carmelo stabs Austin in the chest. Austin might have stood up. I don't know. Carmelo stabbed him in the chest. Austin then died in his brother's arms, and Carmelo got put in the cop car quite quick after he said that I did it. And now I don't know when it was, but probably a couple months ago, he was tried and charged for the murder and was sentenced to 34 years in prison and will be eligible for parole after 17 years when he is 33
Four,
years old.
34, 30,
34
yeah,
years
somewhere in
old.
that
So
neighborhood.
that's from my memory.
When
So
you ran track in high school, what I mean
I've
is going into a tent, somebody else's tent, disrespectful if you don't know them, or you're there with a grudge, or you're there with a chip on your
I don't
shoulder.
know why you would. I mean,
Yeah,
like it's. I mean, there's a bunch of schools there. I did it. I ran track in Whitesboro and then at prep.
yeah,
And I remember I went to state for a
yeah,
prep,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a lot of tents and there's a lot of people, and unless you had like previous beef or you know that guy, there's absolutely no reason to go up to anybody's tent unless you
Yeah.
want to be friends and have a conversation. But
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't
mean
seem.
it's a story that we've all heard, and it's a sad story, and it's a maddening story insofar as, of course, Carmelo Anthony's family comes out and acts like they're the victims.
Yeah,
You know, Austin Matthews didn't.
Metcalf.
I'm sorry, Metcalf didn't. Uh, though he wasn't charged with. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but
Yeah.
there was nobody that said he did anything wrong.
I mean, he was in
Um,
his under his team's tent,
yeah,
just
so
probably waiting to run or just got done running.
we fast forward into the trial. The trial, as Sammy said, ended in Carmelo Anthony being charged and convicted of murder. I think it was 35 years, and he's got to
35
be he
years.
gets parole, chance at parole, not that he gets it, but a chance
Yeah,
at
yeah.
17 and a half.
That was from memory, so if I
Yeah,
missed
so no,
something.
you're right on. So 17 and a half years. So his family, along with their, I better not say it, their attorneys say we deserve a new trial because the judge before, when it was all said and done, and the jury made this decision, I'm quoting him, said the jury got it right. All
Hmm.
right, so the judge says the jury got it right. So the Carmelo Anthony, his family and his attorneys say, wait a minute, that shows bias. So we want a new trial. So they I wouldn't have acquiesced, but then again, that's me in terms of making whoever in power makes the decision about changing judges. So they changed judges, and they
Hmm.
said the judge who said that would no longer be the judge over this matter. We'll bring in a new judge. His last name is Chitty,
Okay.
Chitty, Chitty. And last Saturday, Judge Chitty, I think it's Chitty Bang Bang,
Hmm.
um, said the new trial request for new trial is denied. We're not going to give you a new trial. And so you you viciously, in cold blood, murdered a kid that did not deserve anything. He didn't deserve anything, and you were not where you were supposed to be. You were in his domain, and so
100%. But if I was Carmelo, you would probably try and get another trial, right?
well, I mean, if I don't know about that. I mean, if I mean, it's like getting up and throwing a Hail Mary or
Yeah.
swinging for the fences, last shot.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't blame I don't blame anybody for uh, wanting, trying everything they can to get out of prison,
Yeah.
but I do blame a family who's misused money that was given to them in a GoFundMe or whatever,
Yeah.
whose attorneys just live and breathe based on racism, and so does the Anthony family.
Hmm.
That's what I'm sick of, and my not that it matters, but my comments to the Anthony family or anybody like him is bite me. I mean, the truth is your son did what he did,
Hmm.
and call it racism. I don't care. The more I hear racism, the more I get numb to it, and I'm already numb to it, and because it's just a fallback position for losers, in my opinion. But we wanted to give you the update on Carmelo Anthony.
Denied.
Sammy,
He's in jail.
cue up Enes Kanter
Oh.
is you know what? I believe he's 7 feet tall.
Oh, he's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all know the story with the WNBA, and we've talked about it a lot. And but things continue to happen, so we will continue to talk about it. It's the worst run league I've ever witnessed and seen, and that goes down to the local. My little grandson, our little grandson Beckham, is about to start playing in blast ball, little baseball. He's just a little more than 2. He turned 2 in July, but he's a stud. He's gonna hit him out of the park. He played for the Patriots. So once we get
On a
his
baseball team?
yeah, so once we get his DBU is called Patriots.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
this is I don't know why it's Patriots, but we're gonna get his number once we get his number, and we'll have all that going on. But whether it's the little blast ball league is run better than the WNBA. So the WNBA now has this issue where they said, these clowns, inclusion, we want everybody, trans children are to be,
W-
they belong, whatever.
This started when Sophie Cunningham just
Yeah,
stated that she wants to protect women.
yes.
Not
It's a
saying that
woman's
there's
league.
not saying that there's trans in the WNBA,
Yeah,
but just saying that she wants to protect women
yeah,
from men participating in women's sports.
yeah.
That's
That's a
where this
no-brainer.
started.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And so uh, all the nonsense continues, and Enes Kanter and Royce
White,
White come out, they're former NBA players, and say, okay, well, we'll play you at your own
you're all
games.
about inclusivity? Okay, I'm a
Yeah.
woman.
So
Include me.
Enes Kanter uh, did that and has done. Royce White has too. Enes Kanter shows up at a game
Night.
Sunday night between the Chicago Sky and was it
Indiana Fever.
Indiana Fever. Those games are usually sold out, so it's maximum exposure.
Hmm.
He's wearing a shirt that says "woman," an adult
Human.
female. Yeah. So that's what he at the end on the baseline, those seats, just under the basket, a little bit back, but not far from the court. And this is a play that happens in the game, and watch the idiocy continue out of those in the WNBA. And it's not just limited to coaches. It's not just limited to the commissioner. And it includes the way these women act in the middle of a game.
I,
So
I
just watch
I
this.
also want to say the team in black, the Chicago Sky, are on the brink of playoff elimination, and the person that starts this is leading her team,
And
okay,
scoring.
in scoring. And I want you, when she does this, to check the score, and then we can talk after. But I just wanted to say that.
Sometimes you think about heat checks, and I bet that was a shot she would just take in rhythm anyway.
Cloud finding an angle. And just like that, a
That's Cloud. Keep an
six-point
eye on her.
basketball game. Chicago staying in it. Natasha Cloud. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket. She wanted her voice heard. We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud voicing her opinion as well.
First of all, his name is Enes Kanter. I believe they're saying his name the other
Enes.
way to
Yeah.
make fun of him.
Yeah.
But there you have it. A basketball player. Sammy said she was leading her team in scoring. They were close to the game was close.
Six, late in the
And
third,
then what
six
happened?
point game. 6 point game late in the third on the brink of playoff elimination. She makes a great bucket. The other team calls a timeout. Instead of walking to her teammates, she walks across the court, does this performative stunt, then goes on to not score a single point, gets blown out by 23, gets
Right.
eliminated from the playoffs, and Caitlin Clark scores 37 points, 10 assists on 8 3-pointers.
There you go.
That is poetic, if you
That is
ask me.
poetic justice. So that's the latest, I believe, actually the latest is the WNBA
Privately,
has come out and said
privately,
that
you're denied.
that Enes Kanter and Royce White cannot play in the WNBA. So now they got a new problem on their hands.
Sued to oblivion.
Yeah,
I
so
would
there's the
I would
latest on
imagine.
the Women's National Basketball Association. Hasan Piker. Now, look, the challenge we have when we do things like this, it's the same thing with any media, big, little, small, uh, doesn't matter the format, the platform, is that it drives me crazy when I I I see Fox News or any other big media company continuously give a voice to somebody that's a moron. The better approach, in my view, is just to ignore them. But there are some people that can't be ignored. One of them is Hasan Piker. Now, Hasan Piker was born and raised in Turkey. Hasan Piker is 35 years old. Hasan Piker is a socialist communist, uh, despises Israel, despises Jews, extremely inflammatory. His language is in the gutter, and that's putting it lightly.
I want to add that he's on video on his stream, hurting his dog for no
Yeah,
reason.
he electrocuted his dog for no reason. The guy is a sick dude, and if by chance this ever got out to Hassan Piker,
I wish.
or he happened to see it, let him know that Scott and Sammy Brooks think he's an idiot, and that we'd love to interview him and talk to him about just how not only wrong, but what a reprobate the dude is. I mean, I
Hmm.
don't know. You got to wonder. We're going to show you a clip here of him and his team, and a bunch of people at a socialist communist rally the other night, and just what they're doing. But this guy has no place in this society, as far as I'm concerned, and we must do our little job. If Hassan Piker ever came to Waxahachie, I'll tell you, we'd be on the forefront of making sure this guy knows he's not welcome here. He and Charlie Kirk, they're from the same generation. Uh, they both are smart, articulate. Obviously, Charlie stood for Christ and leading people to heaven. People dislike Charlie because one way to dislike somebody and make it easy for yourself is to characterize them as a villain, and that's what Charlie spent. His short time on earth was spent proclaiming God and the gospel, but also being on the end of those who made him the worst villain. They made him worse than Hassan Piker. I'm not trying to make Hassan Piker a villain. He would tell you he's a
Yeah.
villain. Just watch him. Uh, but they would debate one another from time to time. Matter of fact, Charlie, 3 days after or 4 days, let's say in the week after he was assassinated, was to
Yeah.
have debated Hassan
Yeah. He
Piker.
was.
But this is Hassan Piker the other night with respect to Charlie Kirk, who we're approaching his 1 year anniversary on September the 10th. But this is what Hassan Piker was doing the other night.
We live for Jesus, unafraid to die. We are Charlie Kirk. We came to flame. We'll fight for the gospel. We'll honor his name. We are Charlie Kirk. His courage our own. We live.
So, there's Hassan Piker. The reason you should know and understand and realize who Hassan Piker is because whether it be Abdul Syed in Michigan, Mamdani in New York City, AOC, Bernie Sanders, these people, although now they're going to try to distance themselves from Hassan Piker, have been arm in arm with Hassan Piker. And that's what Hassan Piker does. That is him singing a song
Laughing.
that is mocking Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk's murder. Uh, as Sammy just mentioned to you, he's been seen on video electrocuting his own dog.
He said that America deserved 9/11. He said
America,
that the firefighter killed during the Trump tried assassination, he
in
deserved
Butler.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
The
he
guy,
says just raunchy stuff, and he has a huge following. I mean, he'll turn on Twitch and he'll get 50,000 viewers in a matter of seconds.
yeah, so we have a generation of people that's being impacted by this guy. And Sammy represents the other side of that generation, as did Charlie Kirk. And frankly, one of the reasons why I want Sammy to become more involved in the show is because at some point I want it to be his show if he wants to do it, because we need more Charlie Kirks in all of our cities across the country. And it's obvious, should be obvious too, I'm sure that it is, that Sammy has a talent to be one of those, to stand up to people like Hasan Piker. It's just awful. I thought to myself the other night, I thought, when that guy goes home and it's just him, and he's lying in bed, or he's sitting around, and he's just thinking, is there ever a point at which he says, "What am I doing?"
No, and that's why it's so frustrating to think about stuff like that because he goes home and knows that he just made money, and two, that he's happy with what he's doing.
There's this great quote that says, "Some people are so poor, all they have is money," and that's true. And so I think of people like Hassan Piker, who have people made him. He didn't make himself. Others have made him. The media makes him, and anybody that is made by somebody else. Rush Limbaugh used to say it: if the media makes you, the media will break you.
Mm.
You look at somebody like Eric Swalwell. You look at any of these people that have just been kicked to the curb once they're of no use. We talked about that the other day. Look at Jasmine Crockett. I think Hassan Piker at some point will become the same way, because America is going to reject this in November. We're going to reject it, and we're going to reject Tallarico and
Please.
those like him. Matter of fact, my upcoming column on next Monday is about the Star Wars bar scene, where there's all these crazy,
I've
weird.
never seen.
Yeah, well, you'll have to look into it when you see the
What
column, but
is there anything showing about Jackson?
not yet.
Not yet.
No,
Okay.
that'll not yet. I mean, I'm sure it'll pick up here in a week or so,
Okay.
couple weeks. But it's America's going to put a stop to this BS. But people like Hassan Piker, it's a bigger problem, and at some point he needs to go away. So does Al Sayed. So does Mamdani. They're all going to fall flat on their face. And for those of
They
you
will
that
pay. They'll
pray
pay the
that, I want to
price.
encourage you to believe it. But that's what we just saw is bad, bad, bad.
People like Hassan will pay. They'll pay the price. They will.
I'm not going to show yeah, they will. I'm not going to show the Barron Trump video. We just a video just showing you Barron Trump in a regular
And just giving you
setting during the
information.
campaign. Yeah, but Iran has put a $10 million bounty on Barron Trump. Barron Trump is 20, Ross's age, and he goes to New York University. Smart kid, good-looking kid, got a bright future. I'm sure that Donald Trump is going to make sure, and Melania, that he's going to be kept safe. But I think Iran. My opinion is that Iran is about to step on, pardon the pun here, with their own IED, and it's going to blow them to smithereens if they do any damage, if they hurt any one of Trump's family.
I feel like if they try to.
Yeah, if they try, or if they do, then
Yeah.
it's game over for the country of Iran, in my opinion. And because I think Trump has been patient, he's been methodical with this. He's frustrated me and millions of others because we're still at it and we're pushing the midterms. But I think Trump has held up doing the ultimate damage because he knows there are innocent people in Iran that
Hmm.
deserve better. But when your family's at risk, do that to my family, and I'll be happy to spend the rest of myself in life in prison to protect my family. I
Poor,
think Trump's the same way.
poor Barron. I mean, he already probably deals with stuff kind of like that. But 20 years old, just because your last name and all that, it's just sad. I feel bad for him.
It is. It's awful. So I wanted to mention that to you. How about this? This is a crazy story. In Alaska, we know that the general election's coming. Here's Alaska. I'm just going to read this to you. You're not going to believe this either. I mean, this is how low the left has gone in a state like Alaska. I would have never ever dreamt that somebody would do this or a party would do this. Former Anchorage. Now stick with me now. All right. Former Anchorage Mayor Dan Sullivan is taking sides in Alaska's unusual same name Senate fight. All right. Endorsing incumbent Republican Senator Dan Sullivan over a third Dan Sullivan, whose candidacy has already triggered legal challenges and allegations of an effort to confuse voters. The intervention from Dan A. Sullivan, the mayor of Anchorage, adds another twist to a potentially competitive race in which Senator Dan S. Sullivan, the Republican, and his allies have accused teacher Dan J.
Oh my
Sullivan
goodness.
of running as a GOP candidate to siphon votes from the incumbent Dan J. Sullivan. So actually there are 3 Dan Sullivans. Thankfully, they all have different middle names that start with a different letter. So
Oh
the
my goodness.
GOP is claiming that the Dan J. Sullivan, no, let me get this. Senator Dan S. Sullivan is the Republican, legitimate candidate. Along comes Dan J. Sullivan, who the GOP Dan Sullivan is claiming was put in the race just to confuse people.
Okay.
So there's that. And then, if that weren't enough, the mayor of Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, Dan A. Sullivan, weighs in on it. So you got 3 Dan Sullivans involved in a race, Senate
Gosh.
race in Alaska. 2 of them are candidates. One of them is the mayor, and it appears to me the guy that's running against uh, Dan Dan S. Sullivan, the legitimate guy, the guy who's running against him is there as kind of a ploy. It's just a a guy there to confuse people. And so that's how far politics have fallen in our country. That we now are willing to go find somebody who's got the same name as the candidate we don't want to win. We're going to put in our guy and then confuse the heck out of people by throwing around initials. I just read it to you. It's right here in front of me on paper, and I can't keep track of it. And there's the picture of them, all 3 of them right there. So I wanted to share with you what's going on
That
in
is
Alaska. And I made the claim if it's going on in Alaska, there's a point at which it's going to wander its way southward down to our neck of the woods. All right, Sammy, cue up the robot.
Oh.
So the robots, we know AI is running wild, and I'm an AI proponent. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk in the shows to come. I want to talk about more in depth about um, data centers, that sort of thing. I believe there's a way to do this and to do it right, and to make our communities better as opposed to worse with data centers. But I need to be able to explain that so that I'm not, attacked under the
Yeah.
cover of darkness. But robots now, and we know Elon Musk and others are creating robots to do all sorts of things. This is a robot. This is a race of 2 robots. One of them that's programmed to run the same speed as Usain Bolt did in the Olympics. I can't remember if it's the 100-yard dash or the 200-yard dash.
I'm pretty sure it's 100.
Okay, so and
Yeah,
so
it's
they
100.
built one to just go the precise speed of Bolt, and then they built another one that they said would go faster. Here's the race. The one you need to watch is the one in white, unless there's 2 of them in white. Yeah, watch the one in white.
发令枪响，选手们的起跑都不错，夺队。这场飞人大战让我们的开幕式现场掀起了第一个高潮。
They
发
have
令
it. So the one in white beat Usain Bolt, who's the record holder, and
This is
it's a record that'll stand forever.
Oh yeah, and this is the tip of the iceberg. If you look up the 2026 Robot Olympics, they're doing stuff. Dad, I'm not kidding. I should have got this. There's a video of a robot kicking a soccer ball into a goal and hitting Ronaldo's Sui celebration.
Oh,
Like good. Like
yeah,
really good.
and then they're going to put some synthetic skin on them
Oh
and
my
make them look
goodness.
like the real thing. I mean, it's
I
incredible.
mean, when I saw that celebration, I got concerned.
I told Ross a couple of years ago, I said, Ross, when you're my age, well, before my age, when you're in your 30s or 40s, you're gonna be driving in a car if you want to that never touches the ground. And he
Yeah.
laughed at me, and I'm telling you, it's coming. But
Yeah.
there you go. That is a robot beating a star Olympian's time in a race. Waxahachie, we don't have time today, but we are going to talk about it. We'll put it first thing on the agenda for Thursday. But I want to talk to you guys more about for the local focus. We have an issue, in my opinion. We have an issue with our city council once again uh, playing games by not being transparent with you, the voter, when it comes to our ambulance service. And I'm going to get into the details. We posted a letter, a legal letter that we sent to the city telling them to stop where they are, asking them, requesting that they stop where they are so that the citizens of Waxahachie have a voice in what is uh, a $11 million spend of your tax dollars and how the city council is wanting to go about it, why. So we're going to talk more in depth about that. I want you to understand it. And I want you to understand in the process what the role of a newspaper like the Waxahachie Sun, media company like the Waxahachie Sun, because we not only did it via the Sun, we did it, we posted things on our social media. We're talking about it pages and we're talking about it on our show. But this isn't right, and something needs to be done to call these people out. We also want to talk more about this issue with the uh, people are saying the $20 million. Most people believe it's nefarious, but this $20 million that hasn't been accounted for in a county budget. We'll try to get an update on that. I can tell you that I trust John Ray fully. I know John Ray uh, is there to fix this stuff and to correct what may be wrong. I don't believe there's anything nefarious going on here. Matter of fact, I'm almost certain that there's not. I believe it's just an accounting mistake. We've seen some paperwork, and we're going to get more, hopefully, and we'll be able to share it with you. But I think it's just not not balancing, just say your checkbook, as it were, and as a result, it looks like there's more money than there actually is, or there's less money than there actually is, whatever. I don't want to characterize it any specific way till I have more details, but I want to make it clear that I don't think anything nefarious is going on here. And I think the people of this community ought to not spend their time jumping on social media saying some of the most outrageous things out there. So just take a deep breath. We'll have more for you on Thursday's show about these two topics, and we'll start with them so that we can get into a little bit more. Uh, I believe that was it. We don't have any more videos, do we?
Well,
All right,
oh,
so
no, yeah.
we have the state. Well, first of all, let me tell you, our show is sponsored by Who's Custom Meats. Let me put it on the screen for you. Who's Custom Meats is in Italy, Texas. It's a family-owned farm, ranch, whatever you want to call it. Good people. They provide good meats and good combinations of things. You can order packages the way you want them. We've tried it. It's very, very, very good meat. And we want to encourage you to check them out there on the screen there with their little, what's that cow's name? Maggie Moo. You
Yeah.
can see it right there with
Maggie
the hat.
Moo wants you to
Yeah,
come visit.
there you go. So there's the phone number and the uh, website address, and you can tell them the boys from GGN sent you. All right, we've got State Fair tickets. State Fair begins in, oh, do we have it on here? I know we do. Let me tell you when it is. September the 25th. It's going to be September before we know it. Matter of fact, next Tuesday, September the 1st.
And then the 9th.
So we have a number of tickets. We're partnered with the fair, and they're sponsoring this show throughout the fair, which goes through October the 18th. So we have, this is what I want to share with you. Texas-sized fair fun doesn't have to come with a Texas-sized price tag. New this year, kids ages 2 through 12 can get into the State Fair of Texas for just $10 every day.
Ooh.
Looking for an affordable weeknight outing? Admission is also just $10 after 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Round up the family. Get ready for big Tex Fair food, rides, live entertainment, and more. September the 25th through October the 18th. You can check it out and plan your visit at bigtex.com. So with our
Oh, yeah.
tickets, here's what I wanted to share with you guys. The Sun is giving away State Fair tickets. We're not just going to hand them out. You know, we're going to try to have some fun with this. So Kennedy in our office has put together this little plan, she and Sammy. Over the next several weeks, starting Monday, August 31st, so next Monday, the Sun will be hiding tickets in envelopes across Ellis County. Obviously, they'll be in plastic or be under something that won't allow the, not that we're going to get any rain, but so they'll be kept out of the elements. We're going to drop clues on the Waxahachie Sun Facebook page Monday through Thursday, and on Friday we'll reveal the location and the hunt begins. For Grit and Good News listeners, we have an extra chance to win. Every Thursday, we'll give you an exclusive clue to find additional 4-pack of State Fair tickets. State Fair tickets are not cheap, and lots of people love to go to the State Fair. So we'll have more on this Thursday, but you're going to have a chance to win all these State Fair tickets. You're gonna have to do a little work to find it. We'll have some fun. We'll announce the winners. We'll 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 play around with some stuff, some clues, and all that sort of thing. So be aware, more to come on the Texas State Fair. All right, true or false, Sammy? Are you ready?
I haven't lost.
Oh, that's not true. That's a little bit of an
I haven't
exaggeration.
lost in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Holy heck,
Let's
that
see if you
man.
lose this one. So we close the show every show with a true or false for Sammy and Jeff. We don't do our day in history when Jeff's not here. But anyway, true or false? Only about 1,000 people watched the first televised football game. True or false?
False. I don't like maybe like 40 people.
You're wrong.
What?
Only about 1,000 people. You had to get cocky and give me a number, didn't you? Otherwise, you'd have been
Yeah.
right. See?
No, I said false.
Only about 1,000 people. It's
Oh, it's
true.
true. I thought it would be way less.
Only about 1,000 people watched the first televised football game in 1939.
Yeah, I thought it would be way
Not
less.
a lot of people had televisions.
I'm surprised that it was 1,000.
I just wonder who was playing.
Yeah.
You know,
Who's the oldest team? I don't even know.
I don't know that either.
Yeah.
All right, Sammy and Scott, I've had a good time being with you today. We'll have this combination more going forward. Jeff and I'll be back on Thursday. But if you like this Terry, look at Terry.
Yeah, I thought so too,
But
Terry.
if you like this format, let us know what you think, because I do want to have Sammy have at a young age, very young age, have an opportunity to make a difference, and he's got the talent, the skill, and the knowledge to do it. So thank you for being here, Sammy. You have anything else you want to say?
Roll Tide, I guess.
And roll Tide. Yep, that's right. See y'all on Thursday. Bye bye.